Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Hello, sir.
So tell me one.
No, sir.
Hello. Okay. So now tell me one thing. Now last class I now showed you how to use intent. Did anyone use it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, I tried.
So was the code working?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So for everyone it was working, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So today what we'll be going to do is we'll be creating a registration page, and when we click on submit button, we'll be sending all those details to the next page.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So does anybody know about the radio buttons or radio groups? What's a radio button or a radio group?
A circle with a dot, sir. Radio buttons look like.
Yeah, actually we use it for the gender selection.
Yes.
Either it's a male or a female. So along with the text, there will be a dot icon which we'll be selecting if it's a male, or no, for a female we'll be selecting for the female. So we'll be using a radio button today along with the radio group.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
So basically a radio group is no, a radio button is used inside a radio group so that we can take the input which we have selected. If we select a male, so we want the female option to be unticked. Or when we are selecting a female, we want the male option to be unticked. So we'll be using a radio group, and inside that we'll be using these two options, male and female, as a radio button.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So wait, I'll be sharing my screen. Okay, so let's create an activity from the last class. Yeah. Guideline. What things do we have in our registration page? Let's first create a layout. So what all things do we have in a registration page? Can anyone tell? Am I audible, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
So what all things do we have in a registration page?
Sir,
Sir,
roll number.
name,
Roll number, ID number.
Roll number.
name, first name.
Yeah.
First name, middle name, and last name.
Phone number.
Phone number, roll number, address.
Mail ID.
Okay.
Email ID and password.
So we have a name. Next we have a email ID. Then phone number. No, before phone number, we must have gender. Next, phone number. Anything else want to add? Okay then. And here we'll be using two buttons, one for reset and one for the submit. So here we'll be having two buttons.
अरे निकलो तो अभी तो शांत बात है यहाँ मीटिंग चल रहा है ना
All these things, this name, this email ID, what we'll be using for this? We'll be using an edit text or a text view. Tell me.
Edit text.
Edit
For
Text.
this,
Edit text.
no,
A name
no,
for text
no,
view.
in edit text, we can, yeah,
Sir,
we'll be
name for
using text view for
text view
name, email ID.
and enter for text. Edit text.
Yeah, all these things which we are displaying the user, we'll be using a text view for
Text
that.
view. Yes,
Because
sir.
we don't
Yes,
want the
sir.
user, yeah, because we don't want the user to edit all this. This will be shown to the user, and the user will be now entering the details here. So for this, we'll be using edit text.
Edit text.
For gender,
Yes.
we'll be now having two options. Phone number, we'll be having a one option. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this one will be male, and this one will be female. Now, for name, we'll be not taking only only the characters. Okay, for name. For email ID, we'll be taking both characters and special characters, normal and special characters. But for phone number, we'll be using only numbers. No character, no special character. Plus, we'll be limiting the user to enter only 10 digits for the phone number. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
all this functionality we'll be using in our today's app.
Okay, sir.
So let's build the app. Okay. First, let's clear it out. Now we have a blank screen. So we already have a constant layout, and inside that we can start building our application. So what we need, the first thing, what we needing? Yeah, we'll be needing the guideline. And now we have always used horizontal guidelines, but in the today's activity, we'll be using vertical guideline too. Okay.
Okay, sir.
yes sir
Okay. So let me implement one vertical guideline. So can anyone tell how many guidelines we'll be needing?
sir
How many
three
horizontal guidelines?
three
No, not three. We'll be needing more. Come on, go
Five.
ahead. Guess.
sir for
Let me
name
check one.
email id gender phone number we use one guideline
Okay. Now you want to use one guideline for all these four things, right?
yes sir vertical guideline
No, I'm asking about the horizontal guideline. I'm not asking about the
if we
vertical
use
guideline.
horizontal guideline then
How many guidelines will be needing?
Sir, then one, two.
seven
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
seven
6,
guidelines
7. Okay, we can use now 7 guidelines. So let's go. We'll be needing 7 vertical, horizontal guidelines. And how many vertical guidelines?
One, sir. One.
No,
One, sir.
not one. We'll be needing more than one. See, for this side, for this side, for the name part, email ID, gender, phone number, or the reset button, we can use the parent, okay, for the left side. The starting parameter, we can use it as a parent. Same for the ending side.
Yes, sir.
Same for same for the ending side. We can use the parent for submit button and all this text and the review button. So in after this, now we can use one guideline here to end all this the text views. Okay, this name, email ID, gender, phone number. To end this text views, we can use one guideline here. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And we'll be using one more guideline in the center, in the exact center, so that these two buttons, this button and this button, they are in an equal distance. Okay. To put them in an equal distance, we'll be using the one guideline in the center. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
And one more horizontal line for no, we don't need for the radio buttons. Yeah. So we'll be needing 2 vertical guidelines and 7 horizontal guidelines. So let's start building. So now we have only one horizontal guideline.
Yes, sir.
Let's make it 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So why is it showing error? Can anyone tell?
What, sir?
Sir, I cannot
Yes,
see the
repeat.
error message. Oh,
It is set
sir, it is the
to
ID is
digit.
same. ID is same.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So we need to have different IDs. Let's make it 1, 2.
So we will
Yeah.
use this as a new project now.
Yeah, you can create it as a new project, or you
Yes, sir.
create the old one also if you want.
Yes.
So now we have 7 horizontal guidelines. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now we also created one vertical guideline, but here we'll be needing 2 vertical guidelines. So let's copy this one more time. And here we'll be placing it as 9. So from 1 to 7, we have horizontal guidelines, and 8 and 9 is our vertical guideline. Clear?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Now, what is the next thing that that we need to do?
Sir, to align this guideline properly.
Yeah, for that, what we'll be needing? We have to change something here.
Yes, sir.
Orientation.
No, orientation.
Not orientation. It's already
Layout.
horizontal.
App
I'm
layout.
making it.
App layout.
Yeah, we need to change it to what?
Red, red.
Sorry, I didn't
App.
get you. What? So what will be
Top to
running
top,
it here?
bottom to bottom.
Yes, sir.
No, we'll we'll need to first change the measurement. Here the we'll like no, we are using dp to the
Yes,
measure
sir.
the distance.
Margin.
But
Or use the margin.
no, we'll be using a percentage here. I told you
The
that we have to
parent.
divide the stream on the basis of percentage.
Oh, yes, sir.
So here you can take it as 20%. So this line will start from 5%. How many text box we have? One, two, three, four, four. This one is not vertical. So from not DP, we have changed it to percentage.
Percentage.
Okay. Now, this is the first guideline, the 5% guideline. This is the second one, 15% guideline. Next, in now between this guideline, we'll be having one text box. That's for name. Next, we'll be creating now two more guidelines. We need to now just set the percentage. Let's make it as 18. And here we will be making it as 20. See, what is the difference between these two? How much is the difference now between these 2%?
But
1.10.
10%.
No. See,
No.
now what it's showing? It's a 5%, right? For the first guideline.
5. Yes, sir.
And for the second guideline, it's a 15. So what's the difference between these two guidelines?
10%.
Yeah, 10%. So for every text box, we'll be using 10% difference. This two was for the first text box. Okay. Now
Yes.
this two will be for the second text box. So what I have used here, 0.18. It's the upper limit. So the lower limit will be 0.28. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now for the third text box or the third line. So this is the upper limit, 0.3 means the 30%. So what will be the next one? The lower limit for this text box? 0.
0.40.
Yeah. We don't need to write now. 0. So 0.4. Same way we're doing for these two also. 7. We missed out, I think, one. We missed, I think, one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Sir,
Okay. We
in
don't.
5th guideline, we will use 0.31 now.
In fifth guideline, fifth guideline. Do one thing. I took separate guidelines for the upper and the lower limit. We need to take it as one. Okay. Now from the starting. Okay. For first we use 0.5. sorry, now 0.05. Next we use 0.15. Now we'll be not taking 1 as a difference, means the 10%. So what will be this the value? If we add it here, the
0.25.
10%, yeah, 0.25. Same again, we'll be using 10% difference, 0.35.
3.5.
Next, 4.5.
4.5.
So it will be 5.5.
Five.
And the last one will be 6.5. Okay. So now you can see here we have the margin ready for the horizontal part. Next, what we need to do is that we need to put out vertical margin. So I have now told you earlier we'll be using two buttons and this should be at an equal distance. So for that, what now we'll be doing is that we'll be using this 9th guideline in the center.
Okay,
So
sir.
this is the guideline. Now you can see it's the guideline, the the vertical guideline. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
This
Yes,
guideline.
sir.
Okay. So let's now place it in center. So for center, what will be the value?
0.5.
Yeah, because this whole screen is 100%. So for the now using this screen at a half of the value, we'll be using 0.5. And one more guideline, we'll be using it at 30%. It's 0.5. Okay. So we have the margins ready. Let's start putting our elements here. First, now what we need here. This edit text, this the text view, this name text view, this gender text view, this email ID text view, and this phone number text view. Got it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Let's start creating the text views. Here we won't be using match parent or wrap content or fill parent. Basically, we use these three things to define the height and width of any element. Okay, we use either match parent or wrap content or fill parent. Here we'll be using now 0 dp. Here for the height and the width, we'll be using 0 dp. Next, what we need to add here, we have the height and the width. What we need for the for an element. Yeah. Let's name it as name. What more? We have the height, we have the width, we have the ID. What more we need?
Sir,
Yeah.
why we are using geodetector? It will won't take any size.
It will take a size. Now that's the thing. Now why we are using guideline and a constraint layout here. With this now 0 dp, we don't need to define any size for this text view. It will automatically adjust to its surrounding.
Like wrap content.
No, like a match parent. What
Oh, okay.
what it does is that it not take the size of the parent. But here we don't want to take the size of the parent because it will cover the whole screen. But we need to only focus on this part, this first box which we have created. We want this text view to be inside the first box. So we are using 0dp here.
So we'll give
So
the
what
bound
more now we need to add?
Why we don't write wrap
Yeah.
content here?
Because if you write a wrap content, it will only be in the size of that the text which we are implementing here. Like if you write name, so the border will end as soon as the letter ends with E, the border will end there.
Okay.
We want to cover this whole first box, this first box. So we'll be using 0dp here. Okay,
Okay, sir.
but don't use this as 0dp without a guideline or a constraint layout. So what more we need to add? Come on.
And write text name.
Top of
Yeah, first let's add a
top
text
to top
name.
of that.
Text
Yeah.
name.
So this will be name. Next,
top to
Android.
top or bottom to bottom.
Wrap
Yeah.
layout.
Top to top of, bottom to bottom of, and
Constraint to start off.
Bottom
Start to start off.
start. Just
what?
start to start off.
Start to start of, and end to end of. See, this the text view will now start from the parent, but it will end here on this eighth guideline. So I have used this 0.354%. This text view must end here on this vertical guideline. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So let's start now putting the values. So what will be here? Top to top of which guideline?
One.
Guideline 1.
Bottom to bottom of?
Guideline 2.
Start to start of?
Parent.
Airline 8.
So
8 to 9. Yes.
because of this thing, now 0 to 0 dp, this text view is not taking this whole size. Now you get it? Now why I've used the 0 dp
Yes,
here?
sir.
Because if I now don't
Yes,
use
sir.
the 0 dp
Yes,
here,
sir.
see what? Let's use the wrap content. Now see, it's only just taking the size of that content, but I want this box to fill this entire space. So I'll use here 0dp. But it's not looking nice. So let's do one thing. Let's increase the size. Let's increase the text size. Let's put it at 20 to 30, 35, 38. So we have also used the text size here. Now as you can see, this the text is the moving upward, and I want this to be on the center of this box. So for that, we'll be using gradient, and we'll place it in the center. So now for this box, this text is in the center of this box because of this line, Android gravity. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So the same thing we have to do with other text views also. The first one was name. The second one was
Roll number.
second one.
Sir, email ID, sir.
No, email ID, email, gender, phone number. Just name it,
Email
no,
ID.
just name it as email ID. Okay. For email ID, we'll be using which guideline?
Guideline
Email
3,
ID should be in
3
the
and 2.
bottom.
Bottom
Yeah,
2.
for top we'll be using
2 and
no.
3.
For top we'll be using 2,
And
and for
bottom we'll be using
bottom
3.
we'll be
3.
using 3. And we'll change it to this namespace to email ID. It's not fitting. Let's change the size of the text. Okay. Next. Next is gender.
Tinder.
Gender. So, now what will be the top and the bottom guideline for the gender?
Guideline 3, top,
2 and
bottom
3.
4.
No, not 2.
3 and 4.
We'll
3
be
and 4.
using 3. Yeah, 3. And for the
And
bottom,
4.
we'll be using
4.
4. It's not very important to remember the guidelines name
Okay.
when you start building a UI. Gender, and the last one was phone
Phone
number.
number. Phone number.
For this will be 4 and 5.
5.
Sir, in the same box, we can't write in 2 rows, sir.
What in which box?
In the same box, we can't write in 2 rows, sir. Means the total phone number in UMBR.
Phone number. Now we can do one thing. We can specify the maximum the number of lines here. If we give here a 2 line,
Okay, sir.
so it will take the input in the 2 lines. Okay, not the more than 2 lines or the
Okay,
less
sir.
than
Okay,
2
sir.
lines.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Make it bold. So the text view part is done. What is next? We need edit text for name, for email ID, and for phone number. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
So
sir.
let's create an edit text. Same thing we'll be using here, 0dp. Next is ID. So here we can take uh, input name. Next, we don't need to add this line here because now we are not taking an input here. We are not showing any input here. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Next, what we need to add here?
Top to top of
Yeah, whole thing will be adding. Right. Now let's remove this. this, and this. Now, now tell me, what will be the top to top of the for this edit text? This is the first edit text which we are using. So from where now should it start?
Guideline.
And then
Zero,
one,
one,
Yeah. The
one,
bottom,
two,
guideline
two.
2,
and then two,
Two.
and the left side or the start part. From where now should it start?
then nine,
From 8, sir.
Yeah, we have 7 and
Guideline
8.
9.
The for no, now we have the 7 and 8. I think we have the 7 and 8, right? No, from 8 and 9.
8 and 9,
8
sir.
and
Yeah.
We have to use
So
8.
here, so we have to use here 8. We can't use the 9 here because now we are not taking this guideline.
Yes,
This
sir.
is 9 guideline. Only- But if you want, now you can write here 9. Let's write here 9 only. A little space here. And now what about this end? Where now should it end? The right side?
and
parents,
And yes. So we have created our first edit text. Okay. Now I'll be needing 2 more edit text. One for the email, one for the phone number.
Phone number.
Yes. Let's name it as input email. And we'll change it the top from 1 to 2, the bottom from 2 to 3. Other things will be same. Now for phone number, let's input the phone. We have used it to
5, sir.
3, then 3, 4, then 4 and 5. Yeah.
4 to 5.
4 and 5. So we have the 4 text views, 3 edit text. Now let's create our 2 buttons.
Yes.
Here we can specify the size of the button for now. Seems loading. Next is ID. This will be reset. For that, we need to add a text inside our button.
Reset.
Yeah. Reset. Okay. Now let's change this top bottom.
6, 7.
Okay. So this button we want it here in this part. Okay, the left side. So what will be the top?
6,
6.
then 6.
6,
6.
Let's see. 6. Okay.
7.
Bottom
The bottom of
7.
7.
Bottom of 7
start.
Parent.
parent,
is the
Parent.
parent.
And will be
End will be 9.
9.
9.
8,
9.
now let's create one more button here. This will be our submit button. Okay. Now top and the bottom will be same. Only we have to flip.
Start is the 9 and end is the parent.
Interchange.
This part. Okay. So
Yes,
we
sir.
have created our two buttons. What we can do here is we can add some spaces here now between these two buttons, or from this button to this parent. So let's add up some spaces. So this one is the reset one, okay.
Can you
And
show the
our yeah, what want to see?
can you show out the preview?
The preview.
Yes.
You want to see the whole design uh, or the blueprint.
Yes.
This is what you're asking, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Oh. So margin start, let's put it at 20, 30, 30 dB. Margin layout and 30 dB. Now let's start setting this. Okay, it looking good now. The buttons. Now we have to add only one last component in our UI. What is that?
Yes, sir. A radio group.
Yeah, radio. Just give me 1 second. Just wait
So
for one.
why
Just now
have
wait.
you
Wait
we
for 1
use
minute.
margin start or margin end?
Wait. No, just give me the 1 moment. I'm not getting a call. Okay, sorry guys. Let's continue the session. So what you're asking?
Why have we used margin?
This margin. This
Yes,
margin
sir.
start and margin end. See, this line only specifies where it should start from where it should stop. Correct?
Okay. Okay.
But this thing specifies at how much time distance should it be from the starting point. Like here we have used it with the guideline 9. So this button will start from guideline 9, correct? And from that this guideline. And it should be at a distance of 30 dp. So this is the distance.
Sir,
Okay. Yes.
if we want all the text view to align left side and center, height was center and the left side align as well, then what to do?
Which no, all now this one. This is all text.
Yes, sir.
So we can do one thing in now. in a place of center, which we're using here, we can use center horizontal.
Oh.
Yeah, center horizontal. Or, no, sorry, center vertical. Now it's in the center, but it's on the left side. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So now let's put our last thing here. That's our radio group. So radio group. Zero radio group. Not using an ID. Let's name it as RG radio group. And we need to add this. So it should start from 1, 2, 3. Top should be 3, bottom should be 4, start is 9 and is current of it. So here I've used orientation as horizontal. This is because we want the buttons to be like this. See, next to each. We don't want the button to be like this. See, not in this format. Okay, we want the button to be next to each other. So we'll be using orientation as horizontal. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
So we have created a radio group. Now inside that we can create as much as radio buttons we want. But for our purpose, we'll be needing only two radio buttons. So let's create our radio button. Here we'll be using wrap content. We'll be adding a text here. Let's call it as mail. Let's increase the size. Text size. That to small. 25. Create one more variable. Okay. So now we have our two radio buttons inside our radio group.
Yes, sir.
So our layout is complete. Now we can move to our coding section where we can add the functionalities.
Sir,
So let's go.
sir,
Yes, go
we
ahead.
we don't need to give the ID for each button, each radio button.
You can give. Oh yes, we have to and oh God, name it as mail. It was under ID. Done. So let's go to our coding section. Okay. So let's get rid of this. Okay, so how many text views do we have here?
The 4.
Four.
Views.
4.
And how many edit text?
3.
Three edit text.
3.
3.
So let's create 4 text views and 3 edit text. First text was name, then email ID, then
Gender.
gender, then phone number.
Phone number.
So for the edit text, we'll be creating edit text. Put name, input email, input gender. Okay, we don't have an ID text for the gender. We have radio button for. So what was the last edit text?
Phone
Phone
number.
Phone
number.
number.
Phone number. Yeah.
Phone numbers.
Okay. So we have created the views, edit text. Next, we have to create our radio group, radio buttons, and normal buttons. So let's first create our normal buttons.
Mm.
Submit. Next, next we'll be creating our radio group.
In phone number, phone spelling is wrong. Edit text.
Okay. Radio group. Just move it. Mail. Okay, so we have created all the elements. Now we need to initialize them one by one. Now let's copy this thing to the other three. Name it, next is email. After email we have gender. Gender we have phone number. Okay, so we have initialized our text views. Now let's initialize our edit text. Input name, Oops. Next one, what we're doing. We're done with our text views. We're done with our editors. What is
Button.
Button,
Button.
sir.
next the radio group? Radio buttons. So with initialization. So we can start putting our functionalities for all these things. The main is in this activity is that we have to assign and functionality for this video. Because when we select male, we don't want this the female option to be active. We want this to be deactivated. Same thing for the female. Now, when we select the female, we want the male to be deactive. For that reason, we have used a radio group. Now, what we'll be doing here is that click on the submit button. We'll go to another page where now there will be a text view and it will show all these details. Whatever we have entered here or we have entered here.
Okay, sir.
Give me a moment, please.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay. So let's build our activity which will show all these details. We'll be creating one new XML file result.
Mm.
Sir, we don't use buttons on click listener.
No, now we can use. We'll be using here a button on click listener. But before that, we have to create an activity which will show our results. Because on clicking on that button will be redirected to this new activity. Okay. So in this page, we'll be having only one text view. Won't be having anything else here. So here match present, ID, then rest, gravity center, so that everything and center. Okay, here we are done. Let's create a Java file for this activity. Then result. Then we want packages. So this is our result here. So what we want to do is that when we when we click on this button, whatever we do, first it will assign variable. Then that variable, then we'll be using that variable to send it data to another page using intent. Let's create some variables here. Just string. Image, let's put the functionalities inside this the button button. The first button was the submit button. Submit dot set on click listener new listener. So what we want to do is when we click on this button, whatever is written inside this that should get stored in these variables. First one is out name. Out name equal to input name dot get text dot to true. So now whatever we have entered in this edit text, it will get stored inside this string. Same for out email, out phone number, and out gender. So we're done with our edit text. just need to take the input from our radio buttons now. Okay. For gender, radio group dot check. So we're taking our inputs from the first edit text, from the second edit text, from the third edit text, and as well as from the radio button. So after taking the input, we'll use an intent and send it to our next page. This activity name, comma, and next activity name. Now we'll put all these values. There is, the value is stored in out name. So email number. Gender. So whatever we have stored in our strings, we have now assigned an index inside our intent, and now we'll send it to our next activity. Activity I. Okay. Let's the name. Equal to get intent. Okay, it's in the string format, so use string extra and the index name. Same for the others. So now we got all the values from the page or new page, and we are storing them in another string variable. Then now the last thing which is left is we need to display all these values in our new page. So for that we have now created a
The phone
we
number
have
will be in
created a
integer form.
edit text.
The phone number will be in integer form.
Okay, yeah. Now character. I need to change it here for that. Okay. So for that we'll change the input type to number, and then we'll limit it. The max length or the max input that it now take is
10.
10. Okay.
Okay. So we don't have to change string to int.
Where here?
Yes, sir. In Java code. For out
One
phone, we will
more.
use int out phone.
For out phone.
We will have to
Okay,
use
yeah.
int out phone.
Yeah. Here now will be not taking the input as an
Int
int.
out phone.
So it no, again then now we'll be now converting that integer to string, because we are now sending from this page to the next page in the format of a string. So
Okay,
whatever the
typecast.
value is, if it's a not decimal, yeah, now we'll just use a typecast.
Yes.
We have already used. Let's name it as phone one, and then it will be for phone one. Found in
Where
found text editable. Let's put this new phone inside our string format.
Yeah, I think that was also correct. It was converting the text into string.
Which one?
That was, which was previously, I think that was also correct. It, getting the converting to string, then storing it.
Okay, then let's run the program one.
Okay.
What was the text idea was? So here we are done. Let's see our program is going or not.
So we don't have created the reset button yet.
Yeah, that we can do at last also.
Okay.
The main thing is that we are not sending the details from our first activity to the next activity.
I have a question.
Yes.
Sir, I done the previous day work. So it was when I'm clicking the login button, it was supposed to be moved to the next page, but is closing the application.
Did you declare the next page in your manifest?
Yes, yes. No, sir. I don't do anything with
So now
manifest
can you
file.
share your screen after this activity? Is it possible for you to share your screen?
Yes.
Your voice
Uh,
is breaking.
yes, sir. Should I share now or after the building?
Uh, One thing, let me check this app once, then I'm gonna share your screen. Okay.
Yes, sir. But I did not done anything with manifest file.
Okay. So the error is from manifest file, according to me. Okay, so the text size is a little bit larger. So change it. Now let's start entering our details. Now, email ID. We will see. So change the phone number. Let's see how many Digits is take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, it's taking only 10 digits. See, we're getting the name, we're getting the email, but in place of gender, we're getting a number. Can anyone tell what this number is?
I think the ASCII value, sir.
No. I will now show you the code once. Let's see if you can identify what is the error here. Because the only way now you will learn faster is to now correct your own error. See.
Sir,
I'll give you the hint.
it
Yeah.
converted
Say.
to it converted to string to integer. That's why.
Integer one.
No.
The out gender you have write integer to string. That's sir, in out gender you have written integer to string. That's the
Sir,
mistake.
we only
Yeah.
get the
Because the main thing is that the number we are getting
It's
is not because of this line.
it's ID. It check what
Yeah.
radio button ID.
Yeah,
Not
it's not taking the ID, not the text of the radio button. Okay.
yes, sir.
So for only for this reason, I've used here int to string, because the ID for a radio button is always is in a number format.
Yes.
Got it? So now what now we have to do? We are getting the ID of that radio button which we are selecting. From that ID, we will now try to extract the value of the radio button. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Uh, now just see here. Okay, I have created one more radio button, and it's a dummy radio button. Okay, we only have these two radio button, a male and a female. But I have not created another radio button. What I'm doing here is that I'm getting the ID from the radio group with this command, and I know the ID of that radio button. That this is the ID. So I'll create another radio button, and I would give this ID to that radio button. And whatever the value is inside that ID, it will also get copied to this radio button. So now I know which radio button is having the ID and the text is also with this radio button only. So I just need to extract the text from this radio button.
Sir,
Yes.
the out gender should be after the selected or because this line is getting executed first.
What would I didn't understand your question. Can you repeat once?
Out gender line should be after the selected or
Yeah,
okay.
it should be out after the selected, correct. Because first we are assigning this ID to this radio button. Then only we are extracting the value. Okay. So let's give it one more try. Let's see what happens. See, I'm getting the text from that ID.
Yes, sir.
Is it visible to you guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
But the orientation is in a single line. So how can we change it to the next line?
Got a slash n.
Slash n. So where should I use the slash n?
Move to the print
Next
print
line.
the
Before
value
email.
from the
Before?
Before email. And
Here.
yes, sir.
Which one we want to print into the second line before that?
So you mean to say here. Let's go. Let's check it out once.
No,
Is it correct?
no, sir. I think before the plus semicolon. Oh, correct. Yes, sir.
Is it correct now? Okay. So now today's main thing was that we used now we now learn how to use the radio button.
Hmm.
So does anyone have any question about radio button or radio group? Or not? Do you want to see the code once? Come on, guys, you can ask any questions if you have any doubt. Do you guys have any doubt? Okay, so now should I give you one assignment where now you
Yes,
can
sir.
use the radio
Yes,
button
sir.
or radio groups?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you have time till Monday, na? So I can give you to create two different apps.
Hmm.
So do one thing. First, the first app will be the registration app. Okay,
Hmm.
let me share the
Yeah.
print screen. First will be the radio. The first one will be the registration app, where now you will have 7 fields. Just
Hmm.
now, just write down the name of the fields. First will be name. Then gender. Then email ID. Fourth will be marital status. Fifth will be the phone number. And sixth will be address. So what are the fields name which I've given to you?
Sir, repeat
Name,
one.
gender, email ID,
Name,
phone
gender,
number,
name,
marital status.
phone number, address.
Okay. So here we'll be using radio button for gender and marital status. For gender, it will be male, female, and other. Three options.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
And for the marital status, there will be two options, yes or no.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Then
Okay.
we'll be using two buttons, reset and submit. And the same thing should happen. After the clicking on submit, you should move to another page along with all these details which you have entered.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
One more thing now I want to add. If I don't enter anything on this text box,
Hmm.
I shouldn't be able to move to another page. This is an additional feature. If you guys can implement that, then it's okay. If you guys can't, then I leave it. I will not show you in the next class.
Okay,
Okay.
sir. Okay.
Okay, sir.
But I'll give you a hint. You can do one thing. You can use if else loop. You guys know how to use if else loop, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. So you can do one thing. If if anything is added to the edit text, then we'll move to next page. If nothing is added to that edit text, you will stay in that same page. So just try once. If you guys can do now, then it's well and good. If you guys can't, then I will help you out in the next session.
Okay,
Apart
sir.
from that, just do that in a simple app. If you can't do that, this functionality in that.
Okay.
Okay. And one more app I wanted to give you to build. So just do one thing, build this one first.
Okay,
Okay.
sir. Mhm.
Okay,
And
sir.
if anyone have any query, just text me once. If I'm busy, I'll help you later, but I'll not surely help you out.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay,
So
sir.
anyone have any
Okay,
question
sir.
about
Okay, sir.
today's
Sir,
session?
I will not able to run the app, sir.
Yeah. No, show me your screen. Sorry, I not totally forgot about you. But I should stop sharing. Okay, share your screen.
Sharing.
Okay, give me the access. Let me request it first here. Okay. You haven't created the second page yet, I think.
I have created, but I just deleted this. I have net a new.
Okay, so you have created only the layout file. And to merge and page to a manifest, we have to create a Java file also. So you have only one
No,
Java
sir.
file.
I have deleted the second layout, sir.
No, now you have not created only the layout. You haven't created a Java file.
I have created the main Java file activity. Yes.
This main activity Java file is now for the first page. For this
Sir, sir, my first application that you have given us was not
yeah.
running. So I have only using that.
Okay. So do one thing. You're not Balaji, no, Nagesh, Shubham. Okay. What was this application? Second, text button done. What was this first the application about?
Sir, you told us to store the text. I am text view. And it
Okay,
will be
and
shown
then
in
I
text.
displayed in the second one.
Yes.
Okay. What is this thing? Let's see what's there. You don't have an emulator installed.
It is not installed, sir. I have tried it, but cannot.
Can you have? You must have told me earlier about this.
Sir, emulator is not working, but in real device it is working.
In real device, it's not working. Okay. Now for the time being, do one thing, you guys do in the real device.
The platform tools update here to update the platform tools. SDK tools that is
Which one?
yes sir, Android SDK platform tools update available that have to be updated. Then emulator will work. My same problem with my one platform tools, then reinstall it. Then it works.
Did you downloaded the API 29 file, Shubham?
Yes, sir.
Okay, but you have not set up the AVD yet.
Yeah.
Okay, let's set up the AVD first.
I have downloaded that 1.1 GB update.
So it's not downloaded, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, let's go back. Let's create a AVD manager. It says it's something. It's not downloaded.
Not down. Pixel
No.
3 or see in others.
Okay.
Do one thing. I will just now start the download. Let it get
Yeah.
finished. Okay. As soon as
Okay.
it, you just inform me once, I will create a new room and I will look into it.
Okay. Okay.
Sir,
Okay. Yeah, Shivam, you can exit. You can stop the sharing.
sir, can I share my screen, sir? Oh,
Yeah.
that login page is not for.
Yes, Shivam. Yes, Shivam. Sure.
Sir, hello.
Yes, I can see.
Yes, sir. Here in button one,
Yeah.
I am sending the hello, calling the second activity, and
Okay.
but it when I clicking the button one, then it's closing the application.
Uh, One moment. Give me the access.
Sir, one thing I noticed now that here in second activity, tool is not written.
Yeah, you need to add that. And one more thing, that did you add it in the manifest file?
I did not touch the manifest.
No. Just I remember one thing. If you create a new activity or a new page, so now you have to add it in the manifest file. The manifest file is like an index. So every page you have inside a book, you need to enter that page, the details in the manifest. Okay? It's
Sir,
like an index.
so me said that once that time my internet connection was lost, sir, so I and
Okay, now do one thing that I will show you. Hmm. Am I controlling your screen? Yeah. The net
yes, sir.
connection is really slow.
Sir,
See, you just need to open the manifest part. Okay.
yes, sir.
Just copy this whole part from activity, the closing tag activity.
Okay,
Okay.
yes, sir.
And why is it so slow? And just paste it here. And now the activity which you have now created, the Java file name, we don't need to add here the XML file name. We only need to add here the
Yes,
Java
sir.
file name. So what's your new Java file name?
Second activity,
Just
activity A capital.
just write it here. I'm working very slow. Just type it.
Yes,
and remove that launcher line.
this one.
Yeah, because the launcher line specifies which page will run first. And for your application, the first page should be the main activity page, not the second activity page.
Yes.
Okay. Now try running the application.
Okay, sir. It will take time to run it, so I'll
Okay,
try later.
just do one thing, that now run the application and ping me once in the WhatsApp if it's not working or not.
Yes. Here, tool line.
Yeah. Tools context, sorry. Anyone else with any other errors?
Here, Java file name, sir.
Yeah, the Java file name.
Yes. Okay. Well,
Go
tool
to
is
tools, just now just click once
Alt
and
enter.
press Alt Enter. Okay.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay. So you can stop now sharing your screen.
Yes, sir.
And anyone else with any other errors? Guys, tell me one thing. Yeah, am I a devil or what? You guys are so scared. You guys don't speak up anything. Arka, Balaji, Rupa, Shubham, Shubham, Saurabh. Do you
Sir,
guys have any other problems?
no, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
No,
So
sir.
your Android should be
No, sir.
working fine, right? Okay, then just create this application which I have given to you, and if you guys get any error, just let me know once. I'll help you out.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay,
Okay,
sir.
sir.
Okay
Okay,
then. So with this, we can now close this session.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay
sir.
then.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thanks.
Sir, can you save the code for today?
Yeah. Yeah. I will now share it in this in the group.
Okay,
Okay.
sir.
Okay.
Can we leave now?
Yes. 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 Now you can leave.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.